Hey, we're back. Hey, shooting up there to the Sky Cam, now coming back down here in the Mixer Fishbowl. We're doing it live, so sometimes to do those rough cuts, you just got to hang tight. Today, we're going to now show a little bit of Age of Empires. We know we're here celebrating all things Age. Age 4 just announced this week. Big, exciting feature, but I've got a bunch more people now joining me on the couch. You might be wondering who they are, so we'll walk through here. First, we have Sven, known as Nili, who's an Age of Empires caster. We have Tristan, a T90 official, goes by T90.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And then on our right, we have Roberto, also TaToH, right? Yes, I want to make sure I pronounce these all right. So, lots of different names. But you are actually a professional player for Age of Empires.
Yes.
And we streamed Age of Empires yesterday. We had a wonderful gentleman here, help casting. They actually taught, we actually did a round. They taught me. I did terrible, by the way. There was a crossbow rush from the AI, and that did not go well for me early on. So this time, I'm not going to play, thank goodness. I'm handing over the controls to a professional. But we're going to watch, basically, we're going to watch over here TaToH fight DauT, is that right?
Indeed.
And we actually watched him yesterday play some rounds against Viper, if I remember right. So, yeah, I think we went through 3 or 4 rounds of that. So trying to keep all the names straight here. But you guys are professional AoE casters. You're a professional player. We're going to kind of play a little bit here. But first, I mean, let's just introduce here for the folks here, kind of in your own words, like, what do you do and what does Age of Empires mean to you?
Well, we will have a big Microsoft event here on Saturday, which will be casted by Killer Bee and Zero Empires, who were there yesterday, and T90 official and me. So we are basically the casters. We will provide hopefully very entertaining games here over at the stage for Mixer as well. And yeah, Age of Empires to me, it's the passion for the last 18, 19 years now for me. I know that I played it when I was very little, and yeah, still continue to cast it and play it very passionately.
Nice. And T90?
For me, I started playing when the HD edition came out, which is a little over 4 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And started casting 2 years ago. So it's not as long a journey as Nili, but certainly the same passion with it. And I'm excited for these games. TaToH's going to play DauT. DauT was in contention to make it here to play in the tournament.
Oh, wow, really?
So they faced each other many, many times. Yeah. And TaToH ended up making it, as well as 3 other top players.
Yeah.
So
nice.
this will be great.
And it's worth saying, too, you don't have all your setups, so and this is a whole nother keyboard. I know you were trying to get all your hotkeys set up earlier, but a little bit about you, but you're a professional player?
Well, it's like semi-professional.
Okay.
I started to play Age of Empires 17 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But I was a little kid and I was mainly watching my brother. That's the guy who introduced me to the game. And yeah, I started to play more professional 4 years ago.
Nice.
With
and it's just become a passion for you and just something you kept pursuing. And you just kept getting better and better. Nice. Well, congratulations for making it this far. That's quite impressive. And you said Saturday, when is that at?
10 a.m. our time, so 8 GMT.
Nice.
Till 7 p.m. our time, so that's
and some of the best are coming here, right?
Indeed, we had qualifiers over weeks, and TaToH made it. We had the Viper doing the show match, and a legend like DauT failed to qualify in 4, very hard for qualifier. He got second twice and got beaten in the semifinals twice, and that was pretty hard for him.
Yeah, it was. It's so hard. There's so many good players that you never know who's going to make it. So we had 4 people make it. It would have been a lot of people's prediction list, but
nice.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
awesome.
So I think we're going to kick it off, actually. You guys are going to get a kind of a warm-up round. You can just click off that, yeah. So what we're going to have TaToH and DauT do kind of a warm-up round with each other. He's also going to kind of make sure all his hotkeys are set up right. I'm going to let you guys kind of talk our fans through that experience and whatnot as soon as he gets queued up. And we're going to get going, and I'm going to also take a lot of notes because I'm terrible at it, and I need to improve. Because after yesterday's match, it easily been about 5-6 years since I played it. So, I mean, I'm excited for, Age of Empires 1, the remaster coming. So, and they dropped the announce they're going to do 2 and 3, which is kind of cool and pretty exciting. So, I know I think the community overall seems pretty on board with all of that, and then Age 4 going forward.
Yeah, they're super excited. And I think we should talk about the main differences, because yesterday we saw a human being against an AI. What's a big difference, T90, for you? Human against human, and especially 2 of the top 10 in the world at the moment.
It's how fast they can adapt. one thing can happen in a split second, and it changes their entire plan. So it's about adapting. It's obviously about speed. These guys, the speed you're going to see is just going to be unreal to many people who don't play this game or play it as a casual level. But, in AI, they go kind of one direction, I guess, or go down one road. Pro player like this, they can go 15 different directions in 30 seconds, all depending on what they scout and what they see.
All right, and it looks like here we go.
Indeed. So we are jumping into this probably first show match here, and we will be playing on the map Arabia. So it will be all land-based from here. We did ask them to play Random Civilization to see a big mixture, and we have TaToH playing the Byzantines, and we have Vikings for DauT. How big of a difference is that here, T90?
Well, civilizations are interesting in Age of Empires. Each civilization has a strength. In this situation,
and they have their own specials and classes, right? Like
Correct.
some of them can have certain infantry, or I saw war elephants was one the other day.
Yeah.
That's obviously not available to everyone else.
Yeah, of course. So Byzantines, their unique unit is a cataphract. However, at the expert level, it's about utilizing every single unit you can use. There's no.
Is that going to give him a big advantage then in this one, or not really?
Well, okay, so Byzantines, their strength with regular units would be cheaper trash units, and trash units it's a term we use for units that counter those expensive gold units. So a Byzantine player would have a strength against civilization who favored their gold units, I suppose. Vikings are more of an economy civ or a water civ.
Yeah.
But because of that economy on land, they can still do pretty well.
So basically, on the other side, on DauT's end, he might have a bit of a stronger economy pull with some of those perks, which doesn't help overall in battle, but will bolster him to be able to buy more units, I'm guessing. And I'm trying to do the layman's terms here of trying to understand.
That's essentially it.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I don't know, like I said, there's a lot of situations that same mindset applies. So you see a hill, and that player has to think about, okay, this civilization can go with this unit, and there's a hill on the front. How do I protect that? That's what makes the game beautiful. That's why we're still playing it. That's why we're here after 20 years.
Indeed, and for the people who don't know, if you are on a hill, you do more damage and, get less
I learned
damage.
that yesterday. You do 25% more damage,
Indeed.
and if you're going uphill, you do 25% less. I didn't know that until yesterday.
Yeah. So most likely we will see TaToH now here, our blue player, will go for a lot of weaker units, and our opponent here in the red trunks, DauT, will go for a more heavy eco approach, and will go for the very strong units, and he is trying to get it into the mid game where his civilization really shines.
Yeah. Once you're that castle age.
Indeed, yeah. Exactly.
Because I learned that not many games are really won in the feudal age. Most of that battling starts taking place really in that castle age.
Yeah.
The beauty about this level is they're neck and neck for so often. So
I didn't realize either too
make it
yesterday the
but
strategy behind even buildings.
Yes.
When we were commenting on the games, building walls or a tower push.
For
I didn't even know what a
that
tower
is
push
happening
was.
now. TaToH is sending in a villager at his berries, and he will build the mill so that the villager is trapped and can not get attacked by melee units.
Oh.
If you look
just
at
because he's got a positive placement there on those berries, and he's going to use it to his advantage by trapping in that villager.
Yeah.
And if you look at the lumber camp, for example, and normally players will place a lumber camp, or more casual players place a lumber camp, and with that lumber camp, they just let it go. He's making sure there's an efficient lumber camp, so there's two villagers on either side.
Less travel. It's also
travel,
why I like pulling boars and
a little
sheep
bit more
right
wood.
underneath your TC, right?
Yep.
Yeah, see? Yep. I learned that the other day as well. I'm starting to remember a few things. Same thing with his scout. It looks like it's doing almost like a circle out from where he's at. Versus when I was scouting, I was going
zigzag.
Yeah.
There's even a strategy behind that.
So let's take a look at how TaToH developed so far. He has a pretty solid build-up, found all his resources, his gold spot, knows where his wood is, he found all the food resources, and now we can see on the minimap, the scout is going to the other side, and now he wants to find out what DauT is doing, how his map looks like, and what strategy you could possibly go for.
Even just getting a scout in there can give him a peek into what's going on.
Yeah.
Because the more you know about your opponent, the more you can start working on combat tactics, almost or a revert rock, paper, scissors. So if he's rock, he can make sure he's paper.
Oh, and now we can see DauT is actually getting his scout himself, very close to the TC, and got some damage done there.
But he's found his camp now.
Yeah, so DauT at the moment knows more, but lost some hit points on his scout. So let's see if that will hurt him later on.
So about the scouting, players will adapt entire strategies whether or not they have scouted. So normally at this point is when a top player has already decided what they're going to do strategy-wise. So they could go for scouts, they could go for Dark Age Rush, they could go for different Feudal Age Rush because they're about to click up to the Feudal Age. But if TaToH scouts something right now, he may change his plan entirely. So that one scout is so important.
Okay, for example, one trick move that we just saw of him is, look at the villagers. Like huge green bars means they still have full HP.
Right.
And he took like the low HP villagers there, and he will build a farm so that the low HP villager will always be close to the town center.
Just
and
in
will be
case something
protected.
happens,
Correct.
he can quickly revert into there and hide.
Indeed.
Interesting. Oh, and it looks like he's
So-
found his camp.
Yeah. So, and TaToH now scouted a barracks of his enemy, and I think we need to.
Yeah, the monitor looks like it's
Okay.
about ready to turn off.
Okay.
Well, make
So-
sure we flag our producer, Josh. That
Okay.
monitor is about ready to
The
turn
monitor.
off.
Okay, so but we can continue talking about
I
what's
pause?
happening here.
No, yeah, you're
You're
fine.
So we have the situation that TaToH actually did scout that DauT built a barracks in the Dark Age. So he will be able to build some militia in the very first age here, which means he will
Get ready
be
to hit the
attacking
power
very
button.
early.
Just get ready to hit the power
And
button.
Yeah, his aggression will be on the side of DauT. And TaToH's now going for a lot of villagers on gold. Oh, it's fixed, great. And
Okay.
he will go for archers against the aggression of DauT, who most likely will go for the men-at-arms militia route, which are like very strong melee units, but getting countered by the archers. That's what TaToH is trying to go for.
Again, that rock, paper, scissors kind of.
Correct.
So,
I mean, in this situation, TaToH, and now he's scouting gold as well. He sees 2 on gold, which almost confirms the man-at-arms.
Indeed.
So TaToH knows that, and he's collected gold. He has a lot of wood. So as Nili said, archers would counter that. But there's a small window because the Dark Age units, militia, are upgraded to the man-at-arms. DauT probably already has them created. So there's a very small window now, and actually you'll see the units there.
oh,
So, this is a window for DauT to do damage. And so TaToH has to just wait till he hits a Feudal Age to build that counter.
Now he's trying to quick wall, building some walls there to protect his villagers, and it seems like all of them can get to the secure town center. And TaToH, let's see if we can wall there. Beautiful quick wall there.
nice.
Wow.
Well done.
Damn. That's the top play that we wanted to see of him.
Yeah. And this is a guy who's playing on a completely different keyboard.
yeah, it's
completely
worth
different mouse.
mentioning this is not his friendly setup.
Correct, yeah.
Ooh, and now we can see an aggressive tower there by his
Oh.
opponent. So he needs to pull off the villagers. Let's see if we can save all of them. Going down to some lower HP. Seems like
It looks like
he
they'll be
will
fine for now.
Indeed.
He needs that archer range up fast, so he's lost his wood line. He needs to get some units out in defense. The walls are fine for now, but that early damage from DauT with the man-at-arms is going to work quite well. If TaToH gets these walls up, those man-at-arms probably won't be able to do anything, but it's a matter of getting them up, just getting a couple hits, and then buying himself a little bit more time so he can do damage.
He's trying to get the walls up as quick as possible. He's still open at the bottom. Let's see, his scout is taking some damage. He's pulling a lot of villagers. Pretty hectic game. DauT is going for the big aggression here. Let's see if we can quick wall that. It looks like it's still
well
open
done.
to the wood line.
Yeah,
Horrible shot
they
from
can
go
TaToH.
behind
Oh,
the
that wood
lumber
line
camp,
is not being
unfortunately.
friendly at all.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like some top players at home play with the mod that the trees are a bit smaller, so he can see that area a bit better. But now we're playing here on the different setup and like the standard how Age of Empires was created. And that's looking pretty unfortunate for him. And now he has a big problem. He cannot get wood at the moment. And DauT is looking at a pretty damn good spot at the moment.
So realistically, at this point, DauT back at home, his economy is not being idled like this. So these villagers are there to collect
I was going to
resources.
say, that's the real key here. We're not seeing a bunch of action and people dying. What we're seeing is a lot of taunting and distracting.
Yeah, so I mean,
'cause his
that
economy's
idle time is
stalling.
huge. I mean, those villagers are not collecting resources while DauT back at home is untouched. So at this point, DauT has done more than enough damage, and at this level, DauT should be in a fantastic position in this game.
Absolutely. And we have to remember, we said that before, the Vikings, the civilization of DauT, has a big eco bonus as well. So he was ahead when it came to the eco anyways.
Yeah, correct. So, you'll notice DauT, he's in the Feudal Age, obviously, with Man-at-Arms. He only built one tower, and so at home, most likely, shoring up his defenses, maybe with some walls, maybe with defensive towers because
he's going to
he
have
has
to,
archers.
yeah, to build
and then he's going to try and get to the castle age then and really apply the finishing blow.
So now he just cleaned it all out, so now he can...
That's a long time. That's a very long time for TaToH, yeah.
Meanwhile, DauT's economy is still bustling. I can see in the top right corner, it's still going up.
Yeah, correct.
So now the thing is, since TaToH lost so much villagers, and therefore like a lot of the eco that he actually needs to produce all his military units, he needs to do some damage and needs to attack DauT now, but DauT already has the perfect counter up, and TaToH needs to go back home.
And maybe it was me saying it that fed into TaToH's mind a little bit. We assumed back at home he was going to be, just turtling up, but he actually had villagers forward that built those towers. So he's on stone, so he can build more towers if he wants. He just needs to deny another wood line, really. And the skirmishers are there to counter the archers. So DauT knew his man-at-arms would force archers, and then he made skirmishers to counter those archers.
Wow.
So all of that goes into play, and
it's almost like a game
on
of
the
chess.
economy. Yeah.
Okay, and now we can see DauT is sending more villagers to the front. That means he will build probably another tower, and TaToH will build a defensive tower himself to stop the aggression, and will go for the aggression himself. So he's now defending and attacking at the same time.
Wow.
And he almost needs to, because DauT has done so much damage. TaToH recognizes he needs to go forward and do something here. So he's on his way, and DauT's actually gonna run
back up, or it almost looks like his men are also retreating back up to help fight that.
Yeah.
Okay, DauT now trying to defend exactly the aggression, and now actually I would love to hear what TaToH thinks, what he needs to do, because it feels like he has such a big uphill battle here. TaToH, what's the next step for you?
I need to hit him and try to kill some builds, so villagers, because I have lost like 3 or 4, so I'm behind on economy.
Okay.
So I will have to try to make the damage on him now.
Yeah. So he has to do something. Skirmishers, they're a counter unit, so they counter those archers. They can idle those villagers, but they're not going to kill those villagers. So I think the most important thing for TaToH, do a little bit of damage, make sure he's short up at home, and if he can take some good fights against DauT's military, which will probably be upgraded first in the Castle Age, he should kill as much as possible.
Absolutely. And the big problem for him as well, he does not have a blacksmith yet.
Yeah.
And so his units are super weak. We don't have a single upgrade on them. So they do 1 damage to villagers at the moment, the skirmishers. And yeah, that's not really the...
And until he can upgrade that and get him a little bit more health and robust, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Now there's different styles and different strategies, of course, but viewers at home probably don't realize how important that 1 tower is if DauT gets it up. It'll actually deny that gold, which is the main gold of TaToH he will want later in this game, and it'll deny actually some farm space, which is very important. And in general, it gives DauT a lot of map control. TaToH has to run past all of that to do any damage. So DauT is, at this point, I think sitting pretty as far as his map control goes.
So it almost seems like he's essentially like pecking away now, and while it may not seem like a big deal, later on the ramifications will be they just grow and they compound.
Yeah.
At this level, it's never one big attack that ends the game. It's a bunch of small moments.
That'll slowly add up, eat up, and then when they hit that castle age, it's really going to make or break the difference.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw one match yesterday where someone lost 6 villagers in the beginning, and that initial 6 villagers cost him the whole game because he just spent trying to recover from that the whole time.
It really snowballs in a lot of RTS games. Age of Empires is so unforgiving because those players don't really do a lot of mistakes. So you start with like TaToH, he lost 3 villagers early on in Feudal Age, and you can really see it's all DauT now. He can put the aggression on, he can decide where he wants to attack, and TaToH is the guy who really needs to react. He tried to do some sneaky counter attack, but DauT completely aware of it, killing more villagers, killing the scout. He's in full control here.
Yeah. So TaToH's position, he has to basically hope that he can do some damage, but hope he doesn't receive any more. It's a really bad position for him because DauT has full map control. Do you think DauT? So let's talk about DauT a little bit.
Okay.
DauT's obviously full skirmisher, but he's going to meet that tower, which is going to force him away.
Yeah.
Do you think DauT will switch up his units? Do you think he might transition into knights, which would counter those skirmishers in the castle age? At least one stable, maybe?
He absolutely will go into knights. There's a perfect counter. The strongest unit in like early Castle Age for sure. Like endless amount of HP, huge damage output, and the perfect counter to what TaToH has. Now TaToH is in a very bad spot here. He only has 42 gold, but he needs 50 gold to do his crucial upgrades, which gives him +1 range on his skirms and +1 attack. And now he's trying to send one villager in, but yeah, he might get denied as well. And at the moment, TaToH cannot really take any fights because he's so heavily under upgraded.
Oh, and there's that tower piling down on his gold.
Yeah.
So at this level, I would almost expect DauT to hit the Castle Age within the next couple minutes, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and if you look at the resources TaToH has, I mean, TaToH forced to build a market now to sell some of his resources to get gold, but he's only at 17, I believe, food. So, you know, you need 800 to hit the Castle Age.
Oh, wow.
So that just tells you DauT has almost the same number of military, more upgrades. It's just what the economy brings to the table. So once you hit the Castle Age, you can make a stable and make knights. And the Vikings aren't a fantastic knight civilization because they
And you
lack
can get a marketplace
an
too,
upgrade.
so like if he has heavy wood, he can trade in that wood.
Correct.
And
he
so
could. It's not ideal because you don't get the full price.
Oh, okay.
And the more you sell, the less you get. But
so it's like a last ditch.
and he's kind of forced to do that now. Yes. So we kind of expect DauT will probably upgrade those skirmishers to elite skirmishers when he hits castle, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sends out some knights, which would one knight would clear up all those skirmishers. That's how bad skirmishers are.
Really?
We are getting into a very bad situation now. That DauT is moving in with all his army. TaToH's trying to go for some quick walls here, but losing so many villagers and not really getting that house up. It's a bit late, and that's so big losses here. DauT still in full control. It's still
They're
not
just
watching the
one-shotting
right
of those villagers.
Yeah, he has so much damage output. Since he has the upgrades, he has the numbers, and TaToH in a world of trouble. Trying to get some defensive towers up now, but
Trying to throw an attack his way as well.
it's looking nice for him. As you can see, like he's getting 70 gold for every 100 sold, and now he only gets 60
Yeah.
gold for every 100 wood sold.
And TaToH tried to go out on a counter to do some damage because he understood his situation. But, you know, DauT comes in at the wrong time. He might run away now, but the damage has been done again. We'll see if TaToH can do a similar amount of damage.
And just compare the amount of farms, for example. Like, at the moment, DauT has like 15 farms, which is basically the only food income. So if you want to go Castle Age, you want to have a lot of farms. And DauT has like 15, and now he reaches Castle Age.
Castle Age,
I wouldn't be surprised if TaToH will just lose his army once here and then needs to resign. That's not a good.
So you see the farms on the right?
Yeah.
He's had to cancel those farms. He actually had villagers running into that tower, just that one tower, and it denies so many different things. Good defensive tower from DauT. Again, skirmishers do very little damage to villagers. I haven't seen a stable yet. I wouldn't be surprised if knights.
There's potentially
Yeah.
a stable
Clean
in
that
the
up.
back.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a siege workshop, which
That's
gives you an
true.
attack for like mangonels, which can one-shot like 30 very clumped up archers or skirmishers.
That's right. It just vaults it and it just explodes.
Correct.
We saw
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It's devastating to groups.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea because players at this level, they focus on certain resources for certain things. So DauT's heavily on wood, DauT's heavily on gold. He can make that siege workshop.
That
There's
we
that
see.
one night.
Yeah, indeed. And TaToH knows no
GG.
chance and is typing out the GG. Well played by DauT here.
Yeah, it was
Wow. Impressive to see how it evolves quickly. Oh, there, yeah, two stables.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the siege workshop in
Yeah.
production.
good. But all of that is made possible by the economy. So these players know the right unit compositions. They have to have the speed. They have to be able to adapt correctly, and they have to know how to address their economy.
And it's impressive among you to be able to do this, by the way, because it's loud, it's noisy.
Yeah.
This is not ideal. I
Yeah.
know, but definitely appreciate it. This was fun. This is great. Chat's just loving this. I'm seeing them. They're all in here chanting and seeing what's going on. But it's interesting to see how quickly, again, it just snowballs. Little things can slowly start to affect it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it can trickle, even from his side and your side. That was super fascinating to see how once he got into your base, at least from like the novice point of view, of how quickly you were throwing towers, throwing up walls, throwing up houses, trying to like quickly block him out. But it was like they were saying it was like disrupting your economy and how that flowed.
He was cornering me. I was almost cornered completely. I failed so hard on the feudal age when I couldn't wall my wood line.
Yeah.
So he
Right, to try to block your wood line, but I saw there was a gap there.
Yeah. So
And they were telling me sometimes people use smaller tree mods, so that way or smaller tree like frames.
Yeah.
That way you can see better and block better, and when it basically gets
we
like
have
that.
to talk about one other thing. In Age of Empires, there aren't like set maps. They're always generated randomly. So in this case, he had a bit of an unfortunate spot because like the wood line he took first and his main gold spot were towards his opponent. So that's probably something DauT saw and decided to go aggressively and really punish the bad map generation for TaToH here.
Interesting, interesting. That's fascinating.
Like that tower is blocking so much.
Yeah,
it's perfect tower.
Yeah. All right, it's exciting. I say we can fire up another one and challenge him.
Let's go for another one.
That was exciting actually. That was really fun to watch live. Because yesterday we just watched the videos, but I didn't realize the madness that was behind it.
Yeah.
And I know chat can't see it, but he's just going like, I'm waiting for like them to light on fire. The way he just goes at it.
But yeah, the random generation combined with so many possibilities is what makes this game so beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe talk a little bit about that map placement. And I know that plays a real big play into even the best players in the world comes on the maps, right?
Yeah.
And where you get
well,
placed.
they have preferences, yes. So there's always a standard. So each player is going to have 3 main golds. So that was the main gold for TaToH. I should have said a main gold and 2 secondary golds. So if he didn't have that, there were other golds. And though it wasn't pointed out, it wasn't really in reach for him. So, I mean, the golds, the stones as well. So a standard amount they will get per map, but it's just different locations, different hills, different everything. So,
for example, in the like competitive games that we have on Saturday, we allow players to have like restarts for very unfavorable maps.
Oh, really?
yes.
Yeah. So like that could have been a map where TaToH saw, damn, all my gold spots were very aggressive, my wood line wasn't that great, the berries were very offensive as well. Maybe I will take a restart, and we allow 1% for each player.
Okay.
You have to call it before a certain time, of course.
Yeah.
So you're calling it before, what is it, 4 minutes?
4 minute mark.
Yeah, so 4 minute mark, there's no fighting that has been developed, but the players have time to scout. And so, yeah, there's just so many amazing elements to this game. And, you know, the good thing is for viewers at home that might be more of a casual player, because there's so many things that you can work on, you can improve a great deal by just learning a couple things. But at the same time, if you want to get to TaToH's level, there's so much more you have to do, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I just think it's fascinating how. So I play the campaign, enjoy the story. I'll play with my friends. I'll compete against my friends, and I know we're queuing this up here, but basically it's also interesting to see how much more in depth it can go, even from just strategic place. One of the things that fascinated me yesterday was there was a map where all the gold was in the center.
Yeah.
And not all of it, but like most of it, and it was all downhill.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically
Golden
a
pit.
Is it gold pit?
Indeed.
That blew my mind. That was really fun to watch because the players were close, and then they were just almost dancing around in a circle as they were battling it out. And then one popped up a castle, like DauT, and then Viper popped up a castle right in the middle of the gold pit, and they were just going back and forth, building, and then siege engines were rolling in.
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool to see how the gameplay changes when it comes to the maps as well. Because there's also there's Baltic maps, or like water-based maps, and then that changes, and it's not about the wood or the gold, it's so much about the fish, is what I learned on that one.
So we maybe go for a Baltic map as well?
Do you want to do a Baltic map?
Is there an option?
Baltic.
Baltic as the next map would be nice.
We can play Baltic.
Okay. So yeah, like Age of Empires has so many different aspects, like having those like gold in the middle maps give you the chance, okay, I can still mine some gold at my home base, but eventually you have to fight for that center, and that creates like super action in the middle of the game. And we have like a lot of water maps where having water is nice and gives you huge advantages, but actually winning means you need to win on the land.
Correct. And it's all about that moment of recognition, and it takes a long time to get to this level, but it's so exciting.
Yeah, so now next map will be Baltic. You play against TaToH, you play against DauT. Like, what is your thought? Like, how do you think you have to approach it to take the win this time?
Well, Baltic is really important in water because you get like fish, so your economy is growing faster and faster because you have fishing boats working. So the idea is like trying to get feudal age as fast as possible, so you can start making military units on water, and then avoid him to take fish. That's the mainly goal.
Okay, pretty sweet. So yeah, the
Looks
map
like it's
basically is
ready.
designed. Players are starting at the edge of the map, and there's like a huge water in the middle. You can
Yes.
fish, boost your economy. If you build like warships over there, you can control so much of the map. Yeah,
And
I
then
think
you
it's
wanna
a great
close those
map,
open
and
spots.
looking
Yeah.
forward to.
Once we see the map, it'll be cool to talk about the possibilities.
Yeah.
So one thing to point out here before this game starts, we talked about resources, how important that build order is to each player. Since they'll be going water, the one villager sent extra to wood makes a huge difference.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we normally on
Just
Arabia, we saw people sending 4 villagers on wood. There's some special strategies where we see 3 on wood, but this time we will see him sending 5 villagers on wood because he will build a dock that will cost wood and will build fishing ship that
Which
costs
costs
wood as
wood.
well.
So
Correct.
it's really going to go all in on wood,
Yeah.
basically, right
Yeah.
in the beginning is strong. Is there even really a need to even pay attention to rock at all, or stone, collecting stone, or is it just all about the wood?
Only when needed. In fact, I actually talked to Viper the other day, who will be playing tomorrow, and he was saying how much of a risk it is to go to stone early because those 2-3 villagers, they're not on wood or on gold, and it's basically a full defensive move. At
Nice.
that point. So
Nice.
even building, you actually, not to deviate too far, but you have 200 stone, and a tower is 125. So you build one tower, you're going down to 75, and you cannot build another one until you go to stone.
Oh,
So
wow.
the decision to go on stone early, it's normally if you go with a tower rush or something, and
Yeah.
that's not always the best strategy. It depends.
And like in the starting age, like the Dark Age, you have no possibility to actually spend your stone anyways. There's no buildings, no units that cost stone in the Dark Age.
Looks like we're kicking off.
Yep.
2. All right. And then again, this is a Baltic map, so very water-based as we're talking about.
Correct.
Very wood-based. I'm going to let you guys take this one.
Okay.
We're going to make sure, I saw it kept popping up there, so I'm going to go check with that. But
Okay.
I'll have you guys cast this one. I'll be right back.
Okay, so let's talk about the map first. So we see Baltic. It is here the snow version, which doesn't change too much. Although you can see villagers actually move in and can still see their footprints in the snow.
That's so funny. In fact, there are actually no snow mods, but the footprints are still there,
Yeah.
which is, so
Yeah.
that caught me off guard as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so first of all, we got to talk about the scouting,
Yeah.
and obviously it needs to figure out where that water is.
Indeed, yeah. The water is always in the middle, but the distances can vary quite a bit. And you want to have the very short distance. Your villagers don't need to walk that fast. And yeah, just get the grush out a bit earlier. And when we say grush, we mean,
Galley rush.
indeed, building galleys as early as possible. And that's something we will most likely see from both players. But we are playing random sift, which never happens in real competitive
Yeah.
games. And we see why, because we have the Teutons, which are very good in the late game and have very good economy on land maps, but are very weak on water. And on the
Yeah.
other side, we have DauT with the Saracens.
Yeah, and Saracens are going to be the better civilization here.
Indeed, their galleys firing 20% faster.
Correct. So with the mini-map, I don't know if viewers at home realize, but there's a mini-map. So that mini-map is pretty telling in this situation. So the water is normally between the players, so the water is going to be to the left, and TaToH's already scouted that. Now, can you talk a little bit about dock positions maybe to give them an idea of what top players will look for?
Yeah. So the dock, obviously, you have to build a dock on the water and try to build it as efficiently that your fishing ship will have the shortest distance to the big fish spots. We have small fish, like the shorefish, close to the land, and we have the big fish in the middle, and that's so much more efficient because
Yeah.
fishing ship get bigger fish earlier or like faster than the small fish.
Correct. Now, I should have pointed out the deer. That's so normal to us, but normally there's a patch of deer and you could build a mill, but it's all about resource management at this level. So TaToH actually just used his scout to push in a deer to give him some extra food.
Yeah, and that's kind of a risky move because, like, you're gaining some more free food, but you're losing a lot of information at that time
Yeah, it's true.
because you're not really scouting.
Yeah, so a lot of risk risk-reward situations.
Oh, that was a big problem here. His villager is going down to 4 HP.
He
now.
could save
now
it.
Let's take a look.
Oh,
we're trying to.
he should be able to.
Oh god.
There we go.
Yeah, that's why I want to see him. So the villager went down to 4 HP there and could have died with only one more hit of the board, and he's taking the
He's
safe
fine.
villager to go.
He's
wait,
fine.
let's take a look. Oh god. Is he taking the villager? Oh no! Oh,
That was close.
god! Oh
Yeah, that was close. That was close. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's so important because
Yeah.
TaToH needs that villager. He needs that one extra villager to collect those resources. TaToH's now going to dock,
Yeah,
and he
there
has
like,
the food underneath
there are
his
like
TC.
20 players on this planet who could have pulled off that.
Yeah,
move
yeah,
there.
exactly. It's one of those things you don't think about. You just assume your villager's going to die, but he was able
Yeah.
to wall in his villager, and that's a good display for the people at
Yeah.
home.
He could have went for an option and researched the loom. That gives you
That's
more
true.
HP for your villagers, and he would have survived for sure. But it slows down the economy because if you research loom, you cannot build villagers at the same time.
Correct. So, I mean, at any other level, getting loom probably wouldn't be a big deal, but at this level, that research time means you're not going to have as many villagers out in the map, and that's why players have to do things like that and try and get away with it. So TaToH, we haven't seen any deep fish yet, but there should be some deep fish out there for
Absolutely.
him. DauT's doing the same thing on the other side of the map. It's a very big lake, so normally land aggression isn't doable because you need to force the water aggression. It's the best way to get to your opponent and stop the fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we seriously need to consider, like, there's a deep fish that he's searching for, great stuff. We need to really go into, like, the decision, like the strategy choice now. Because, like, if both players going for galleys only to control the water, eventually DauT will win because his galleys are so much stronger.
Correct.
So TaToH needs to do something special here to still win this game.
Yeah, and a similar situation, I guess we talked about Byzantines and Vikings, how Vikings have their bonuses. So in this matchup, TaToH probably be more inclined to go aggressive. Versus DauT, who he understands he has the stronger units, he's probably going to want to, I don't want to say cheat, but get by to get to the Castle Age, get by to get those upgrades a little bit sooner because he wants to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm curious what he will do. If he maybe tries to distract him on water some and attack him on land at the same time, would be super tricky.
Yeah.
Obviously, you will always lose the Grush, and now look at that.
500 food exactly.
Exactly,
Calculated from TaToH.
It takes 500 food, and he timed that perfectly, and exactly 500 food when he clicks up. DauT is scouting the strategy of TaToH. TaToH is scouting the strategy of DauT, and now we can see the villagers he's moving. All the low HP villagers are staying close to the town center.
Yep.
All the high
On the
HP
straggler
villagers
chase.
are going to get more wood further
So
outside.
it's very important for viewers at home because viewers know how important food is to keep those villagers pumping out of the TC. So the moment TaToH clicked up and got the food he needed, he transferred all of his villagers to wood. He will now send some to gold. And that's because in this situation, he has 4 fishing ships. Those 4 fishing ships are bringing in enough food to keep villager production up. So since that's enough, everything else goes to wood and gold, so he can create ships. And as DauT's doing the same thing, they're going to have a water battle coming up.
Indeed, and at the moment, TaToH is scouting where the extra docks of DauT are because you want to have like 3, maybe even 4 docks to really keep that galley production running for you. And yeah, TaToH isn't seeing, oh, now he finds a second dock.
A really nice move from TaToH, actually. So he's just delaying that dock a couple extra seconds. It's a beautiful move for him.
And he's waiting for the feudal age time because when he reaches feudal age, his scout gets 2 extra attack and might even kill that villager, but a second one coming to help and he needs to retreat.
Yeah, he's going to tease DauT a little bit, act like he's going to run in just to delay those villagers, micro his gold villagers a little bit so they're in the right position. That feudal age time was a little too late for the attack, but here comes the galleys. So these would be feudal fires, correct? Is it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So in this case, it would be a fire galley.
Oh, and he has only 3 on gold as well. I think he did a mistake. Maybe is he going for fire galleys?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We're right in front of it. I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen.
He
Oh,
went for
galleys. Okay.
So TaToH actually made a big mistake here, and like we had. Maybe he saw that now, or he's just really going for galleys. That would be so surprising.
It could. I hate to say this, but it could be a hotkey issue. Like maybe the galleys are.
Now he queues up fire galleys. So
okay,
what you see in the very old Age of Empires, we only had galleys as an option, and now with all the expansion came out for Age of Empires 2, we have different options. We have 3 different fighting units in Fuel Age now, and we can see TaToH going for the standard long-range unit, which is pretty good if mass up. Then there is like a short distance fire galley, which is very good in 1v1 situations. That is the unit DauT is going for. And then we have demolition ships, which basically explode and have an area of effect damage as well.
Yeah. So just because of the way galleys work, you need to mass them to do damage. It's similar to the archers you may have seen in the previous game. So, you know, this unit here, I don't know, the man-in-arms of water, I don't know how to compare it. It's not a good comparison, but it's very quick in the early game. So TaToH needs to run at the moment, mass his galleys, and the bad thing is his fishing ships aren't working.
Yeah, that's a really big problem. The big thing is now he has a demolition ship. It might come out, and it could kill all those. Let's take a look if he's doing the damage.
He's now going to realize that could be a good shot.
God, that was very good. He didn't actually kill, he only killed one, but he got massive amount of damage on those.
So he's trying to find the weak ones, and you can see him clicking them there for a second, guys. So he's clicked the weak galleys or fire galleys from DauT, but still looking pretty good for DauT. But if TaToH gets another one of those shots, that wouldn't be too bad for him.
They're all super low HP here. Let's take a look how good his micro is. He's continuing to build galleys and trying to out-micro here. I'm a bit surprised about that.
Yeah, it's a rough spot, I think, because he did lose a lot. He's still running. His fishing ships aren't working. He hasn't really picked off any of those weak fire galleys.
Yeah.
But I like what he did there to send the fire in front just to act as a little bit of a meat shield. But he needs more numbers. To viewers that haven't realized, you need to build houses, of course, for population. So TaToH badly housed there for a second, which means welcome back, by the way.
Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, and look at what DauT just did. He had like 3 fire galleys, and he's splitting them around to not get the damage from one demolition ship, all of them. And he actually
saved
killed
all
one.
his.
Damn,
he
DauT's
saved all of his
on
ships.
point as well.
Yeah. So, you know, the water battle is going to continue here because those fishing ships are so important. You might think it's only 4 fishing ships, but the moment one loses water, more fishing ships will come out, and there's a lot of deep fish to get. DauT has made the transition into galleys now. So this is going to be devastating for TaToH. He's already struggling a little bit, and now the galleys have come out. So it's looking rough on water for TaToH at the moment.
Yeah. So now the question is, how can he still have options to, get the win in this game? Is it going for Castle Age trying to boom, or is it maybe land attack here in Feudal Age?
Well, you know, the normal thought would be, okay, we're going to go for Feudal Age attack on land now. But at this level, especially you can see the minimap as well, DauT will recognize the second TaToH's not making any ships, and he'll either wall at home or build military at home, and it's not going to be a... Correct. Yeah.
One of them had snuck in a land army and just went at it while he was keeping him at bay.
Yeah.
I think it was DauT.
So this isn't happening at the moment. I don't know what TaToH is going to do. It looks like he's still focusing on water. But sometimes along those lines, a player will actually fake going water, so they'll make docks and make some galleys.
But they actually won't make ships?
They won't make as... Well, let's say like TaToH has 3 docks and they're all working right now. You make 2 docks. And you can garrison your ships in your dock. So they might think you have 3 or 4 in there, but really you have 1. And then you go land. So it's an interesting strategy you can see sometimes where it's a mind game thing.
You can garrison your units in the docks, and then there's a small flag showing. So the enemy, there are units in there, and you don't know if it's 1, if it's 5, if it's 10. And you're really, kept in the dark here.
Yeah, but at this point, DauT knows TaToH is not doing that. You know, TaToH went full on water, and DauT has 1 water. TaToH also scouted the fishing ships for DauT a moment ago, so he knows where they're at. He knows how many he has. So at this point,
he's got an exact, basically, prioritization, itemized list of basically what he has.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is he's struggling, but he's still scouting with his weak ships, making sure that he's not going to lose that 1 weak ship, which is, I believe, the bottom left of the lake there.
And just
there it is. Yeah, it's still hiding there. So.
Okay, so he built a lot of more farms, is now building the market as well. So he will look into Castle Age pretty soon. And it looks like DauT only has 3 fishing ships as well. We can see 2. I think there should be 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he has less.
Yeah. So TaToH, he's adding those farms. He's going to try and get to the next stage. And also, even though he doesn't have the numbers, he's trying to damage the economy of DauT. he knows it's not even worth fighting the ships. He just has to try and kill those fishing ships. I guess the galleys he doesn't want to
So
fight.
essentially just trying to wipe out the rest of his fishing
Economy.
ships and stall his
Correct.
fishing economy portion of it entirely.
I like the use of the demos an awful lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, demos are hit or miss, and, you know, you spend the money on those demos and they're gone. So
Yeah.
a galley you can micro,
Oh, wow.
and you can really make it worth
High
your
risk,
while.
high reward, it almost
Correct.
seems like. Because once it's gone, but if you can happen to pull off and kill and wipe them out, get 2 or 3 ships with it, it might
Yep.
be worth it.
So TaToH's going to click up to castle now.
Indeed, and DauT is already up. He clicked up as well.
Yeah, his
That's-
score.
no, it's not the score, but also the market prices. They
Oh, that's a good
change
point.
globally. So if like DauT is selling resources at that time, the prices are getting worse for TaToH as well.
Really?
Yeah, and we saw that the other player bought some food. So we know, since like people are heavily focusing on getting on wood and gold at this moment to get more ship out, which only costs wood and gold, they most of the time struggle with food, so they buy food. And now we know DauT just reaching Castle Age at this very moment.
Yeah. So, you know, DauT could choose to build extra town centers. We didn't really get to this point last game.
Because
So,
when you have Castle Age, you can build more than one,
Correct.
right? Okay.
so I mean, there's a lot of focus
What's
on
going to be the
economy here.
benefit of getting multiple town centers?
A stronger army eventually.
Well,
Yeah.
the
Just
thing is,
multiple sources of economy coming in, basically.
you can only build villagers out of town centers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like we're starting with 3 villagers. At the moment, everyone has like 35, and like the ideal number could be around like 130. So we really want to get to that number as quickly as possible.
That's basically kind of your goal.
Yeah.
So they will create villagers non-stop. There might be a second or two of idle time on those TCs, but as they're doing everything else, they're creating villagers. So my point is, DauT has an opportunity now. He could put everything he has into military, and there's one stable. Or he could, you know, one stable is not a big investment at this point, so stick with one stable, go multiple TCs, focus a little bit on water. So you got to make a decision if you want to focus on more economy, more land. DauT probably is going to focus on more economy because his military is already leading.
Yeah.
So TaToH's going to have to make a different decision. I think he's going to try and win water control back if it's possible.
Yeah, but will be very tough because DauT is continuing to do water. He did all the upgrades and is killing the docks, so the production is really low for TaToH as well. He's trying to sneak all his military units out, as you can see, and is trying to get the upgrades now for his ship. And then we'll probably try to take another engagement. But if DauT is aware with his bigger numbers, it should be in his favor. Now the big thing.
Was that? He could have ran around the bottom. He also.
I think he built a transporter.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, the knights are there, and this is just awful for TaToH. TaToH has to send all those villagers away from wood now.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to build a monastery, which is a unit that converts enemy units. The downside is they take a while to create. Once they convert, they have to regain faith. So it's the kind of a last-ditch effort for TaToH there to clean up those knights. And it must have been a transport because there's a villager building something now.
Indeed. So the big problem here was like TaToH was so far behind and invested everything onto water, and DauT had like still a water army and now was able to build on land. TaToH has nothing to respond to that, and yeah, it's trying to get some monks out to get the Wololos running, but the aggression is coming, and now we soon will even see siege and monks coming, and TaToH has no answer to siege because
he has no right, and there's really no army down here for TaToH.
One interesting thing is that we talked about civilization bonuses earlier and how good Saracens would be on water. Their galleys fire 20% faster. Teutons, which is the civilization that TaToH has, their civilization resists monk conversion, which basically means it takes twice as long. Still, it's looking to be a bad spot for TaToH. But that is an interesting element to this because it's going to be harder for DauT to pull this off. Not saying it's not possible.
Okay, so DauT is now going for monks to convert other monks, and TaToH is now doing an upgrade to convert the monks of DauT, which wouldn't be possible normally. So maybe the strategy choice of DauT here indeed questionable, but I think he's so far ahead that he still is in a very good spot. Now we can see Mangonels killing villagers here, and he will need to pull all his villagers off of gold, and monks cost only gold.
Yeah, because those right there, what are they called?
Mangonels.
Right, those things can wipe out giant number of people in one spray.
So It's pretty effective at ranged units like crossbows. But in this situation, obviously, villagers is easy to kill. TaToH's doing a good job with his scout. It's a low HP scout. He just killed 2 monks.
Damn,
That's a very good trade for him.
Wow.
That's the original scout.
That is? Wow.
Yeah. And now he can heal up his scout to full HP again. That's another feature of the monks. The big problem really is TaToH Civilization has redemption. That's an upgrade that you can convert the mangonels, but he didn't research it. Now he's researching it. So for now, no answer to the mangonels really, unless this upgrade finishes.
So the monks, on their own, they can convert units, but they cannot convert siege or monks until they get upgrades. So
that upgrade's crucial pretty much at this point.
In this situation, very. And so, you know, these monks, once redemption comes in, can convert the siege. He got what's called atonement earlier, and that allows him to convert the monks. So,
2 HP on that scout. He was really ballsy there. Got some shots in, and as you can see, DauT is still very active, building with 3 villagers there, more buildings coming up. TaToH's trying to somehow go for the defense, but Knight's still going ham. He's trying to get the converts in, but his eco is just in shambles. Look at that, Knights everywhere.
Yeah. It looks like there's Knights all over.
I can tell a little bit just because of the lack of like a headset for TaToH at the moment. You get that attack noise, so it's a little bit rough for him. He has to be a little bit more on the ball, but he went for the conversions.
I was going to say, it's worth pointing out, DauT's at home with headphones on, probably in his zone.
Yeah.
I feel bad for TaToH here. He's in the hustle and bustle and the screaming.
He has to listen to us talk about
right. That's the worst. Yeah.
That's the worst part about it.
We are talking about Galley War all the time, and he probably forgot about.
Oh, he just converted one.
Oh yeah,
he did.
And now he can maybe kill one. Let's take a look. Trading one for one there.
There you go. We traded him. Yeah. At least it stops it from decimating his people for a while.
So players will go as far as to delete their own unit before it gets converted.
Really?
So we saw that with the Knights. So you can barely see them there at the top of the screen. But DauT realized he was going to lose his Knights, so he deleted them because he didn't want to give them to TaToH.
So
wow, and DauT's really building into his base too as well.
Yeah, he's super aggressive, and now he's going for crossbows, which are basically better archer units, and they do a lot of damage against, well, reasonable damage against monks, but they will get like onto a very big number of units, and you cannot really convert like huge amount of units. Monks are good against like small amount of strong units.
Yeah, and so obviously we talked about the Mangonel a moment ago. So that's what TaToH needs. And TaToH already, though he is struggling, he's going to try and get a Mangonel out of that Siege Workshop right above the TC.
I see it there.
So it's very interesting because, you know, there's been so many different counters we spoke about in the last couple minutes. Not to mention the economy, which we barely touched on now.
On top of that, it's running.
It's all going on, yeah, exactly. So the Mangonel is going to be huge. And it's so expensive for TaToH because his economy's stretched. He doesn't have a good population, so he really needs a big shot here.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just think about it. Like TaToH is still at pop 49 population. That number we can see at the top. Now 50.
Oh, he's got a Mangala.
DauT even reached the last age here.
Yeah.
So he's an Imperial age. His units get so much stronger. He has more units that he can build. He can get more upgrades. And those Arbalests now actually would get countered in Castle Age of Mangonels, but now they outrange the Mangonel.
Yep.
So it's trying to shoot with the Mangonel and repair it at the same time, but look at the beautiful micro of DauT. He's not taking any shots.
Yep. And there's a repair villager there. I don't know if that's going to last too long for her, but she went down with the fight. Try to contribute to the
might
team.
lose Mangonel, and that's a GG moment.
GG.
No more chance to defend. And DauT again. Damn. He was super sad not making it here.
Yeah, I know.
He obviously is like top 10 players. And
I also feel bad, though, because we have TaToH here in this loud hustle and bustle.
It's completely different.
He's lasted at least 60 seconds. I probably would have made about 60 seconds before I would have died against somebody of this nature. That's just impressive. How are you feeling? How was that? I know you're in the zone.
Yeah. It's really nice. I think he's playing really good as well, so I don't have any chance here.
Yeah, it looks like they were saying you put everything into fish and you were going strong on the fish, but then at least having the water, holding down the water basically, and then it looks like he came in and just kind of wiped that out.
He got the water and he's making the pressure. It's really hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
And I saw they were saying you were trying to counter that by then get the Mangala, and then get the monks, so you could convert the Mangalas, convert the Knights, but then he was deleting his Knights, before you could even convert them.
Yeah. He deleted them, so I couldn't get them to my army. And that's something that we do to avoid the enemy to get our units.
And I'm kind of curious, actually, what does his base look like? What did he have? Because it looked like he was over here. Scroll over there.
Like here?
Yeah, because it looks like he was building all over here.
Yeah, that's so
he
much
was completely
production as
walled.
well. And at the same time, he has
Oh, look
untouched
at all this wood farming he's got going.
It has a lot to do. He could have used the market because Saracens are also known for their market use. So basically, they get a better
Tax.
What's that?
They have to pay less taxes.
Correct. Taxes is the best way to say it. So when they're selling, we talked about how you don't get the exact amount. He could have used the market. Also, he had the fish, which TaToH did not have. So TaToH did not have the fish, and pretty much from that point, he was behind.
Yeah. Completely. If you let them like having the fish and more in this map, because they can wall like the sides if they have water, and they just will sit the ship like here.
Yep.
And he will avoid me. He will not let me like cross, because the fish is gonna start hitting my army.
Keeping it at bay, basically, and keeping it walled off.
So, see, if I try to land, he would probably have walled there, and on this side.
He would have walled it off.
Yeah, and then with the water support, I was obviously not be able to cross over there.
So what map should we get into next?
I would love to see arena game maybe.
Arena would be really cool, yeah.
An arena game? I've never seen an arena game.
Okay.
Then
We're
let's
about
host
to
an
see
arena game and we'll talk
Let's
about
do it.
what's so special about arena.
Yeah.
So the good thing about the players like DauT and TaToH, the players we will see tomorrow, they're good at almost every map, and that's how they have to get there, because the maps are different every single game.
Yeah.
You can find players like Arabia, which was the very first game. They play Arabia all the time, but you put them in these different situations with different maps, and they don't know how these civilizations apply to those situations and different attacks. So the players you will see tomorrow are truly the masters of their craft.
Absolutely, and like playing so many different players, and you still have to think like every Arabia map is different itself.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Each map is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's. This might be not be for the current version, but like 30,000 different generations or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a crazy number.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's impressive. And now, when they're all playing on Saturday, are they playing arena?
One map, I think arena is allowed as a home map.
Yeah.
So if someone is preparing a special strategy, we will play with like picked civilization, and they will be hidden. So they will not be shown to the enemy till the game starts.
Oh, interesting.
So if someone prepares like, I will have a good civilization strategy prepared against probably what he would pick as a civilization on arena.
So there's some homework also done. Like someone might look
yeah.
into and see like what civs he really leans towards.
And especially he is a master for that. Like every time, like I'm personally like top 10 Euro player as well, and like really putting a lot of thought into that. And when I come to him and I think like, damn, I got a strategy that should really work against the Viper, he told me, yeah, I already played that strategy, and those are the switches, and that's what I need to take care of. So he is a beautiful mastermind of like switching around strategies, trying all the civilizations as well.
Interesting. And now, when you go into a tournament like tomorrow, do they like lay out like what are the maps, what are the modes?
For the most part, like there's different.
That way
tools
you can have a heads
You select
up.
from certain things. So obviously, if TaToH clicks the location right now and shows us all the maps, all those maps aren't going to be in there. Only the ones that really suit competitive play and variety.
Yeah.
There's a certain subsection of
Correct.
for
There's a
like
lot of maps.
entertaining games, for example. Like there are maps like Black Forest, which is very much liked with like creational players, because you can wall a very, very tight choke area, and then your enemy can't touch you. So it's great to like really build that empire.
Oh.
But it obviously, like in competitive game, it has a very slow like first 25-30 minutes. So we don't really enjoy playing or casting that. So we will just take it out of the map pool. But still, for like players who really want to like test all the units, want to build farms wherever they want to play like a casual game, that's a great map to go for.
Yep.
Interesting. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
it's gonna be
excited then for
exciting.
arena. How long do arenas usually go?
They're a bit longer.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
What's usually the setup for an arena? Is it usually a smaller or is it a bigger?
So
Like
you
what-
already
like
know
what-
a lot, as it seems. By the way, you can click in and start. So the big
close
thing
the
about
slots
arena
too.
is you already start
Close those
being
slots.
stone
Ah, okay.
walled. And No, close the spots
close
so
the
no
spots.
one joins.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
this
Yeah,
one.
that way, random.
So, and that basically completely neglects any aggression in Feudal Age
There you go.
or in Dark Age. So the first real time to attack is Castle Age.
Correct. Yeah. So we'll have, believe it or not, they'll be in the Castle Age rather fast.
Okay.
So what we will have time to talk about this when the game starts. It'll probably be easier then.
Yeah.
We draw some parallels between some of the other maps.
I'm excited then to see this. This will be a different version of it.
So in games 1 and 2, DauT had the better civilization. It is random. And the strategies are completely different on Arena as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll get to see, like, maybe a civilization that's normally stronger in the Castle Age doesn't do well on open maps. So, I mean, a completely different scenario here.
Interesting. Yeah, because it looked like from what you guys were talking about with the civs, DauT was getting kind of the stronger of the two
Yeah.
for both times.
Yep.
And while he's still, the other person might still be an excellent, amazing player, they're already at a downfall. Then
Correct.
add on maybe bad map location. That might then compound it, and then they basically are almost fighting an uphill battle, it seems, from there.
Yeah, but as we said, we try to decrease that randomness by giving them restarts for unfair maps and like
Try to slim it down a little bit so that way they can play to the best of their ability.
yeah, and like what do we have in the civilization?
Khmer and Goths.
Oh, that's interesting.
This
So
would be a cool one.
So we can talk about those a bit later. And when it comes to civilization,
I already see walls here already set
Indeed,
out.
yeah, as you can see, like he's already surrounded by stone walls, so no possibility of his enemy to touch the space for at least 16 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And essentially, he's already got gold in there, he's already got wood in there, he's already got stone, so he's already got enough to really start to build up.
Yeah.
At this level, the positions are still very important. You know, just as I said before, there's a main gold, there's going to be 2 other golds. So it's ideal if you have those maybe in the back of your base so you can boom up your economy a little bit more. If they're more forward, the opponent may be more inclined to address that and attack that in the Castle Age. So far, it's not the best gold you ever see for TaToH, because that's the main gold right next to that sheep to the right.
Yeah.
But he certainly can work with that. There's a secondary gold outside. He can worry about that later. Kind of a smaller, more compact base.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, but look at that. For example, you always have 1 berry spot, and he fortunately has even 2 berry spots in the space. That's super rare.
Interesting.
And this time he has like probably a bit of the better map this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talk about the civilizations maybe.
Well, one more thing. There's relics as well. So relics are in every single game.
Right, there's 5 of them on a
Correct,
map.
5. Now, the difference with Arena, just the way that the games unfold, relics are a bit more important. So, you know, if you can get those relics in a 1v1 arena, that's always something to focus on. He will start scouting that. But yeah, certainly the civs, Khmer are actually one of the newer civilizations.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's interesting with Khmer is they don't need to build the 2 required buildings to get to the next stage.
Okay.
So that can allow them to...
That's a perk of his civ that he has.
Correct. So, for example, any other civilization would, if doing a standard fast castle, would go to the feudal age, build buildings like a blacksmith and a market, and then advance to the castle age. They cannot do that without those buildings. Now, Khmer, they don't need those buildings, which not only saves time, but it does save that wood. So they're able to...
Doesn't have to burn the wood on that. He can upgrade faster.
Correct. And he can use that for something else. No clue what he will do. He will need a building at some point anyway, but that time difference is interesting.
It's not something he has to worry about. He can focus on other efforts.
Correct.
Yeah. One less villager on wood is just so crucial, because that's like one villager getting gold all this time. That's probably more monks out or whatever Unity wants to go for. And yeah, I'm really curious. The fight for the relics will be important. The only option to get gold in the late game. And now we can see TaToH, because at the moment he knows his enemy is behind stone walls as well. He cannot really scout the map. He will use his scout and is now pushing the deer towards the CC to get more free food, and does not need to build another mill there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see him pushing the... Yeah, he's pushing...
Yeah.
He's basically trying to
Pushing into
gather
the
as much of the resources he has accessible right there.
Now again, he could build a mill. That's possible. He could build a mill there, but at this level, it's a waste of food. I mean, sorry, a waste of wood to build the mill.
Okay.
So it's also a waste of villager time. So he already has villagers under there on food, on the boar. He's just going to push that deer in. Very easy. There's
Right
more
there.
there, and
Wow.
he'll go back to it. He's going to run out of the boar, so sending another villager. This is just standard stuff for TaToH. And
he's trying to
it's
set it
all
up.
building towards a goal, which we'll find out.
I like the idea that you already start safe within a wall. I feel like as a casual player, that would make me breathe way easier. So I could be like, all right, I can focus on getting at least to the castle age before I get dominated.
Just don't play TaToH.
No. Maybe arena against AI or something.
Yeah. It's surely a good map. For example, like as we said before, so much nicer to just build your base and see what's going on, use all the units, and it's like super fun as well to not always go for like the early aggressive move, but really like go for the full tech tree that your civilization offers you.
You can kind of open up your tactical book probably and really start flipping through the pages and see what you want to go with. You have more choices instead of being like, crap, I got to go this. Crap, I got to go to this.
And his textbook has the most pages of all of them.
Well, he was saying, I think, like he's been playing it for umpteen years. Like, it sounded like for quite a while. Now, is there any other perks that his civ gives him?
Well, that's my favorite unit in the game. His unique unit. Like every civilization, there are 31. Every civilization can build one unit that no other civilization can build.
Okay.
And he has an elephant with a scorpion on his back. So, like, he has a strong unit that can do lots of splash damage against lined-up units. And this unit can actually cut forests. So if he builds that one, he can, can cut the forest there and can do a sneaky attack.
So potentially if, so obviously the other guy doesn't have it's not full 4 square wall, there's forest in that wall.
Correct.
So he happens to have a civ that can cut the forest and just go straight in. Granted, it's going to take a while, I'm sure, and he could try to wall that in, but he has almost a shortcut.
It's a rare possibility because DauT would be aware of that. Also, you need a castle. So we talked about villager distribution. He would have to build a castle, and no sign of that just yet. However, TaToH has actually done that before. I've seen him do it. He cut, and the best part about it was his attack stalled on the front. His opponent thought he was good. TaToH cut into the back of his base. It was a beautiful move.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so then let's talk about the civilization. So the Goth is a very old civilization from the start of Age of Empires, and it's basically one of the strongest infantry civilizations. They have like different forms of infantry. Their champion line is cheaper, and they have a special unit, the Haskell, which is an infantry unit, which normally gets countered by archers, but he is super good against archers because he has a big defensive armor there. So he can go for different infantry and is still efficient against pretty much everything.
Yeah, okay.
So at this point, we're not going to see stone from TaToH, most likely. And I mean, he's sending his villagers out to gold. They have it figured out to a perfect build, so they know how many they need to send at certain times. He's going to send 3 to gold. That way he will have the gold to advance in the next stage after this one. This is what we call a fast castle. Yeah. So you're trying to advance right through.
Really?
So you click feudal, and then right when you hit feudal, click castle. Yeah. But he would have gone to stone by now, most likely.
And there's one very special thing that TaToH is actually using. We already talked about the 2 buildings that you need to advance to castle age, and he doesn't need to do that. So normally you go to feudal age, queue up 2 more villagers while you wait for the buildings. TaToH went with a very high population. Normally you do 26 and then build 2 more in the feudal age to wait to click to castle age.
Right.
But TaToH now went 28, and after reaching feudal age, he will instantly click to castle age.
Oh, so he's not even going to wait and hesitate. Just bam, bam.
Yeah, he doesn't
and
have
build
to.
those 2 extra villagers in the dark age so that while researching the feudal age upgrade, those 2 villagers can still get resources for him.
Oh, wow.
So if he went up too early, basically, with this civilization, he's not going to have as much economy. So he figured it out where, okay, I'm going to go faster. Let's actually add some more villagers ahead of time so our economy's still strong.
So it's still stable and it's not too weak in the...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, 2 villagers doesn't seem like much, but for these guys...
It doesn't seem like a lot, but I guess it sounds like at least it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So actually we can see it. You can see DauT's in the feudal age already. Now DauT's going to have to build a blacksmith and a market or 2 other buildings, which will take some time. And that'll be about the time of 2 villagers. TaToH is still not in the feudal age. We're going to see the castle age times a lot closer than the feudal age times were.
And he already has a lot of resources banked up. You need 800 food and 200 gold to click up, and he has over 900 food and a healthy amount of gold as well. And you can see feudal age and clickety-click castle age on the way.
Look at that. Oh, wow. Meanwhile, the other guy is definitely still working his way up, like you said, because he needs to get those 2 buildings.
Well, he was
That
up
boy,
to
he
fuel
needs the
age a bit
resources.
earlier, but yeah, he had more of a hectic fuel age there.
Yeah.
Needed to do more, and we actually saw a very interesting move of TaToH as well. He was later to the fuel age because of his strategy choice, and in fuel age, the scouts gets faster and stronger, and that's why we saw his scout being back in his own base. Now he waits till both players are fuel age and sends the scout back again.
And now they're going to
Because
fight.
oh, that's interesting.
Let's see if TaToH clicks. I mean,
Oh,
I think that
that's
TaToH
so
will win
random.
this.
Who's the better player? Is it DauT or TaToH? And oh god, you should have seen the face of TaToH. Actually, you did. He wasn't super happy with that.
But he's super weak now.
Yeah, he
yeah,
has 5 HP.
But, I mean, the scout in this situation is there purely to scout, actually, believe it or not. So, as TaToH sends villagers forward, if he won that fight, then DauT wouldn't see what's coming, but DauT might see that with that low HP scout.
Yeah.
So that's the big reason that fight was important there.
Interesting.
And TaToH will go for Monk Rush here. So he will build monasteries and only monks. And scouts are super good against monks, since monks are converting, and one scout has like extra resistance to get converted and has extra attack. And doesn't matter if he has 5 HP or 45, he either gets converted or not.
So
And if you get all of those relics, you also get more gold, right?
Yeah.
If I'm trying to remember right, there's 5 of them.
all right,
Oh.
the scout is there.
He's weak.
It's
2
weak.
HP.
I'm interested to see the castle age time. TaToH hits first now, and I bet you DauT will. There's DauT.
There's
That's
DauT.
how close they are.
Oh man, now they're neck and neck.
Yeah.
And that's under 16 minutes. So these guys have their build orders set up perfectly. It's a beautiful
Meanwhile,
thing.
they're building their economies. They're hammering away back in their
Correct.
home bases. They're getting it all built up.
You can see DauT very aware of what TaToH is doing now, and TaToH, since he lost the scout, has very little idea what DauT is doing. DauT could build like a perfect defensive castle, and TaToH had very little idea of how he should react to that. And there you can see TaToH, for exactly that reason, is searching an upgrade that his buildings can see further. And
Oh,
yeah,
so they can
building
spread
some
out.
outposts, and he really wants to get that intel.
He wants to
Normally-
get kind of a peek into his baseline.
exactly that.
This
yeah.
is kind of a vulnerable position for TaToH because he doesn't know what DauT's up to, and DauT has already scouted what he's doing.
Oh,
So TaToH, obviously making sure his economy's strong at home. He has invested a lot forward, and this is quite good for him because he sees a forward gold for DauT. If he can get in there, he could do some damage.
You know what the very bad thing is? DauT wanted to go outside of his arena, did delete a part of his walls, and now is trying to rebuild. And normally every civilization you just build stone walls, but the feature of Goth is they don't have stone walls. It's the only civilization, and therefore TaToH is already in here.
A big opening right there.
Yeah.
So he can really go in and wreak havoc. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, this is very
Oh,
interesting.
And he put a castle on his wall.
Yes. And it's so weird because, it goes TaToH's base, DauT's army, TaToH's army, DauT's base. And so we could have what we call a base trade. That castle whiz firing on the walls, so eventually that wall will go down. And of course, Huskarls can be created from that castle, from DauT. So DauT's going for the monk.
Oh.
And he got it.
He gets the monk, and the Scorpion isn't that great against the Huskarls now. I believe TaToH
Yeah.
needs to fall back, and now that's one of the best games we could see because now we can really see the speed of TaToH here. We have to remember that he isn't playing from home. DauT is
Correct.
playing on his perfect setup, and let's see how good the macro of TaToH is here.
Well, at the moment, DauT doesn't have a main gold. He's not in his main gold. However, if he masses some more Huskarls, he might be able to kill that army there and free up his economy.
I think so, yeah.
TaToH basically just needs to defend back at home, but it's going to be so difficult for him to do so because he built all those buildings forward, all the units forward, and now he needs to make units back at home. So maybe one conversion will happen for TaToH. He's going to lose the monk.
Oh, some misclicks there.
Yeah,
sadly.
it's a misclick. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable.
Oh, and DauT will clear that up pretty nicely.
I mean, on the bright side, he killed a Huskarl. And they're quite weakened by the Scorpions. Normally, Huskarls don't get killed by Mangonels.
And I see that castle slowly pecking away at that wall.
Yeah, and we can see DauT is now even trying to take some of the gold of TaToH because he doesn't have anything at home.
Yeah.
Oh, his gold. Oh, I see what you're saying with the gold. Because he's out on the inside of his base now.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
And now he will even go to the left-hand side here and take that gold. Let's see if TaToH reacts to that properly.
Oh, and now he's got a hole in the wall.
Oh, quick walls here. He's building some markets.
And that's purely for a wall.
Yeah.
He won't finish that second market.
Let's go for the Scorpions.
That
And now you can see villagers on the left-hand side coming over. And yeah, the big problem here for DauT is he does not have any gold.
Oh.
Yeah. So he must not have any gold in the back of his base then.
Yeah.
And at least TaToH knows where he's at. So TaToH is cleaning up some of these Huskarls. They are so easy to create as Goths, but still, you know, he's killing them with these Scorpions. That one is running away now, and more will come in.
Oh.
We'll see if TaToH's able to do anything back at home here to maybe combat and push out to that gold after he loses these Scorpions.
Does DauT have a monastery himself?
I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen one either.
Yeah, I assume it would be next to the castle or somewhat forward.
Would it be an option to maybe go for war elephants here? Or battle elephants?
So battle elephants are a good move. However, you need a lot more economy, I think, because, you know, TaToH's adding more farms. He's only at 20 food, so he was creating gold and wood units. So now the plan completely changes as that's been countered. So I think maybe if TaToH's able to defend back at home, obviously DauT went forward, sent villagers away from resources to do that, had to get stone, and TaToH can maybe focus on his economy and try to survive, and then make a push back out.
Okay,
It's
so
a tough task.
tough situation for TaToH is also, like, DauT sneaked his castle in there, and TaToH was kind of forced to build army at both sides, at
Correct.
the front and at the back. So he never had, like, his army ever combined. And you need to have, like, Scorpions and Monks clumped up to really fight those Huskars. And he could be annoying at the shouts in TaToH's base, did force some defensive moves there, and then he just went to the top and still had all his army against two half armies of TaToH.
Well, DauT does have a monastery. He's just grabbing those relics now. And he looks like he's coming back towards his castle, so we were right on that one. Knights.
I think he should raid with those knights.
Yeah, I was going to say the Knights should go right into the economy. I mean, at this point, he does have walls back at home. Might as well send those Knights towards DauT and try and harass a little bit. DauT's protecting that relic there with the Huskarls.
Is that what he's... Is he?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's a monk.
But
And
now
that's
the
what
knights-
TaToH's going for.
Yeah, Knights are coming in. He's trying to convert the Huskars at the same time. Now the Monk dropped the relic and is trying to go for the convert. TaToH did... oh, God. He did delete a Knight that he thought was getting converted, but sadly the wrong one.
Yeah,
and now
it's disappointing.
got one converted and deleted one.
Well, I mean, still he's delayed DauT for the moment. He doesn't want to take that Knight back to his base. And they just deleting that Huskarl as DauT's coming over with another Monk. So much better engagement for DauT.
Yeah.
It's interesting to just see
So
how it
now
tide
the
turns.
tower is protecting the relic. Not really, it's just barely out of range.
Unfortunate.
Having the 8 range there for the tower, but it seems like diagonal might have been a bit more. Oh, look at that villager at the front, actually getting berries under the castle. That's a pretty interesting
Ballsy
thing.
villager.
Yeah,
Oh, he's got a villager inside his base collecting those berries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But TaToH didn't notice either.
Yep, there she is.
Nice.
Okay, so
I think we might see battle elephants.
maybe. So T90, strategic choices. It feels like DauT Eco is a bit better, and he has way more units out. What is the next step here?
So because of that, DauT recognizes where he's at. He's going to try and hold and get to the Imperial Age. And so ideally for TaToH, he's going to take a big engagement and win before that happens, which is why we're seeing more buildings built. That's the standard play. If TaToH was behind and he waited for the Imperial Age as well, then DauT's going to be that much stronger. So this is where TaToH really needs to push back. And his economy's decent. His resources are decent. It's just all down to, well, if DauT reacts in time, what is created, of course, and how
yeah,
fast.
he's building back up, but I'm sure a DauT on the other side is he's looting everything around now his building. He's not just dependent on everything that's just inside.
And now, sweet move that TaToH's doing. If you have like 5 monks and are trying to convert one enemy unit, all of them will lose their faith, and they need to get some time and up again to convert again. So he put them on 5 different groups so that each monk can convert a different Huskar there.
Oh.
So he goes 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click, and he clicks on all different units. And hopefully for him, he can get some conversions. DauT is looking to push in.
So he's going for knights. And
I never realized how strategic monks could be at all until yesterday and today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because not only do they convert, but they also heal. So if you have 2 armies and only 3 or 4 monks behind, you get 3 or 4 units, which is essentially killing their unit, and you create one. And you're healing your unit.
And you're healing it the whole time.
I mean, if they're used effectively, like if there was an AI, for example, that would use them perfectly.
Now we can see another castle of DauT coming.
It would be so
Let's
OP,
take a look. That will be a big engagement. This might end the game if DauT is getting that castle up there. It's at such a juicy position. Let's take a look how TaToH is trying to fight this off. He needs to get all the converts done. There you can see getting a lot of the knights there at the front, but some of them are getting converted as well. I believe TaToH might lose this game here.
Yeah, and that's a lot of villagers building that castle. Sure, there are a couple conversions came in for TaToH, but does he have enough to stop that castle? I really don't think he does. He's trying to create now, but again, DauT just cementing his map control, and similar to what we saw in
this is called a castle push or castle rush?
Somewhat like that.
Something like that, okay.
A little bit more economy.
I'm trying to learn the
it.
term, so.
Yeah. Castle rush is probably the best. Castle drop is also used.
So. Where you're just putting a castle right there in his base, yeah.
And like this typical decision or like strategy against that would be going for castles yourself and just try to defend and have a better economy behind it. But that's not really an option because TaToH's eco is just so much weaker. And DauT is actually even in Imperial Age. So DauT's eco is super weak, but he has now all the techs open for himself. He has long distance siege units, and TaToH basically has very little chance to kill those because they're protected by 2 castles.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was. I'm interested to see DauT's economy. On Arabia, we emphasized the amount of villagers. Didn't we say Baltic actually 130 villagers is the ideal, which is true. However, with that Imperial Age upgrade, you get that trebuchet, which DauT has. So there are players who are awful with their economy and are actually incredibly slow, but their decision making is very good. They can go up on maybe 50, 60 population to the Imperial Age, not a lot of economy behind it.
Wow.
And implement all these different strategies just because there's walls on the map.
Yeah.
And DauT has gone up a little bit earlier than normal, probably.
So we now know that the eco is so much, the economy is so much better here for TaToH, but he simply does not have the units. He cannot kill those trebuchets under the castles. He had no chance to kill the castles. He has no real answer to, no real good answer to the Huskals. So he can hold for a bit, but I don't really see how he can push, especially because he also is losing his main gold squad on the right-hand side here.
Yep.
So while he has maybe potentially a stronger economy, there's just no units there to combat it.
Correct.
And we can see.
GG.
And look at all the farms that DauT has. It's like very little eco here. And if we scroll down, TaToH show your eco, just in comparison. He had so much more at one point.
Oh, wow. Go back up to his.
But the strategy of DauT was like, really, I will go for the
that gold in the back?
and the high tech. Yeah, unfortunately not scouted there. Yeah. And yeah, it was just, I think it really came a bit down to losing that scout war. Because DauT knew exactly what was going on. He saw the the siege workshop, he saw the monastery, and he could build that super sneaky castle that if it would have been the switch around having the scouts, TaToH could have maybe even denied that castle from ever going up.
Again, one unit, the unit you start with is that important. And DauT was able to scout what TaToH was going to do and respond to that, and we didn't know that castle was going up.
It almost makes me wonder if it came. So essentially, one of the pivotal points was that scout-on-scout battle.
Yeah.
And the idea that his scout got your scout, and then he was able to have map visibility. You lost the visibility.
Very rarely do you see a castle drop at this level because players can normally scout it and they know how to respond. But it's devastating if you don't scout it.
No.
It's pretty exciting that one single thing. We can always look back and say that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Probably, if he didn't kill my scout, he will then go for forward castle.
Yeah. That's so true. Because it's so risky. So he needed to build it more defensively. TaToH would have had all his army clumped up. The Scorpions, the Monks together, they can convert the Huskals, can do massive amount of damage, and the game would have been completely different if only TaToH would have won that scout fight there.
I love that. That's super exciting. I love the idea that, again, it all comes down to just chess piece and chess players. Comes down to the right, and even though he had the economy, I thought that was fascinating because I was looking at his economy. It was really strong, and I was like, oh, well, he's gonna be able to really build that up. But in the end, it's not always just one thing or another thing. It can be. You can be influenced by multiple different things.
Yeah.
So I only do Age of Empires 2, so I don't know how this applies to other games. But I've heard hundreds of people tell me they never played the game, but they watch all the content because of the strategy choices, because of how interesting it is. Like, they can gain an understanding of how players adapt, and it's exciting just to even watch it and not play it. It's insane that there are people who've never touched the game, and they watch this and they love this game. It's pretty cool. I can't imagine that being the same with many other games out there, but I'm only in the Age of Empires 2.
Yeah,
so
it's so sick. We have a community meetup, and I did the list, and mass of people were signing up, and I asked them for their nicknames, and they said like, I don't have a nickname. I'm not on social media. I've not played this game, but
I watch.
Yeah,
correct.
Because of like great strategy choices of the top players there.
And I wonder,
it's like a sport almost in a sense. I mean, I know it's an e-sport, but you can compare it the way we commentate, the way we address certain things, is as close as I can find to a sport. Is awesome.
I love the idea that people also use the strategies and the mind, at least the thought process when you play Age for other games. It basically is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Not just about Age, but they can be able to apply those in other places. Interesting. It looks like we have about 15 minutes. I don't know if there's like a bullet round or a...
Maybe you play a game of deathmatch to show off your APM.
Oh, okay.
So, should I introduce it? Yeah, probably, right? So,
thanks.
We will those are like, for me personally, one of the most entertaining settings, because like, we know Age of Empires is like, we're starting in the old age. You start with very little units, need to free up all your tech, and then slowly get into the fighting, and then like the strategy choices are coming in, and like the eco management is so important. And we will play a special version now that starts in the last age.
So we're going straight to Imperial Age.
Correct. Exactly. You have all techs already researched and start with massive amount of resources.
Oh, tech is researched and you have resources. Oh, wow.
20,000 food, 20,000 wood, 10,000 gold, 5,000 stone. So now they will just produce units into each other, and you can really see how fast they are when it comes to like the crazy macro that both of them really possess.
So it's pretty much a non-stop action counter. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know this mode existed.
Like micro, for example. It's so fast you can't micro individual units. It's about map control, creation. It's a lot different. So for viewers at home, it might be a little bit, I don't know, with this speed it might be hard to follow. But we'll talk about that. And
yeah, I'll take a back seat and let you guys go, because it sounds like that's going to go crazy.
Let's go for Explored as well. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Nili is a top DMer, so that's why he introduced deathmatch, because that's his forte.
So this is your butter right here.
I mean, he's RM as well. RM is what we call the previous setting, basically.
Okay.
Deathmatch, which is DM. Nili, no, thank you. Nili can play that.
And TaToH and DauT both are pretty good at that as well. They trained a lot for like big tournaments. TaToH actually won a deathmatch tournament in the old days, like 3 years ago or something. And he got trained with the best, and he's like a top player as well. And let's see how he can really speed that up here.
The funny thing about this is like there is a lot of players that they are focusing on DM and they don't play like random map.
Oh.
So like none of those build orders.
No, they don't know how to play standard
with one of the top deathmatch players, just with a group of friends, and all those build orders we talked about. He was like, "What? Like, what do I do?" His time was so bad in comparison to the.
Oh, that's so weird. Like that's just not his forte, but he's just so good at deathmatch.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's his baby. But yet, when it comes to like all that other stuff, it's not important.
Yeah.
So, and I think it is like super interesting when it comes to like building your base, and it's not like typical Age of Empires, but I think it fits perfectly in our like 10-minute time frame, because the games are so much shorter here as well, and just action all game long.
Interesting. I'm very curious to see this. Do you want to close the spots?
Oof. I'm going to love that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Here we go.
Let's see what we get.
civilizations are obviously like super important here, and we have Huns against Ethiopians. So Huns obviously pretty good at the start. Since you don't need to build houses, you can instantly go for all your 200 units there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
correct. He will just go for stables and will build paladins, like endless amounts, and will go for a lot of cavalry archers here as well.
Jesus,
The cheap
yeah, he's
units
just
for the
going
Huns.
mad.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
what
going to
did-
be easy for TaToH because it's a unfamiliar setup, but he's already doing the right things. It's so important to get that one hussar over there just to stop those villagers from building.
Oh, and you can see DauT beautifully walled his villagers.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize too. The map's all viewed too.
correct.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I
explored,
didn't
yeah.
realize that part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
So that's like super crazy settings. Like only like I would say like 1 or 2% of all games on AOC or Age of Empires played are with those settings. But yeah, just non-stop action, and just gives you another like showing of how wide Age of Empires is and what's really played there.
Yeah.
So in a map like this where it's already all viewed, what's the point of sending your scout to the other base?
You're trying to kill villagers as fast as
Okay,
possible and
okay.
try to distract his build up there.
Try to distract them as well.
Yeah. Now we can see the mass production. DauT is Ethiopian, so he most likely will go for halberdiers and arbalists, which are a pretty good counter to paladins, but the cav archers of TaToH will be super strong against that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good civilization versus Huns, I think. The Ethiopians have the faster firing archers, so that will help in every engagement.
Yeah.
But I do think Huns have that versatility. They can get their population up because you don't have to build houses with your villagers. So hopefully TaToH is able to get a little bit of map control here. Obviously a lot of stone. Could see some castles later on in hills and crucial areas. We talked about the hill advantage that comes into play. And there's one right there to protect those resources.
So he's going to want to try to stay up on those hills in some
Yeah.
way, shape, or form to keep an advantage.
Yeah. But his population, he's toggling through every building. His population is going to climb to 100 in a moment now.
Yeah, absolutely. He will get to maybe even pop to 100 here before he really pushes the big attack. He knows that his army is so much faster and he has the map control, so he's now building siege workshop at that right hand side and will add a lot of rams to really maybe do even the damage against all the buildings here of DauT.
Now, you start with a lot of resources, but look how much gold he has left now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So you need to also focus on your economy. It's a completely different order, but he's placing some town centers. He will be creating military, but he will be creating villagers out of those town centers so he can get more gold.
Yeah, because I see he's burned through that gold.
Yeah.
Oh, now we can see a beautiful move there of TaToH going around and blocking exactly that main gold spot there of DauT, and he needs that gold to really keep his arbalest production up as well.
Oh, yeah, so he's putting the town centers all next to all the gold to keep
Yeah.
it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is fast.
I can't quite tell, but that area where TaToH is set up, he's set up there for a reason. He's denied a gold and a stone. So if he holds that and focuses on the other areas with his paladins, it's not going to be good for DauT.
And I love how active TaToH is on the map here. Paladins raiding the back, now even splitting them up. He's fighting against the shoulder warriors now, which aren't the greatest counter. He's still active here at the right-hand side. He's just everywhere, and he's in full control because he's playing just so fast. And you can see how incredibly fast he is, spamming through all his town centers, focusing on 2-3 armies even at the same time, developing the hill control left-hand side, getting the eco up. Just impresses me every time.
Yeah, it's beautiful play. Now, rams are made to kill buildings, but the opponent has a ranged unit, which is an archer, and they do not kill rams easily. So the rams are actually more of a meat shield here than anything. So the rams have moved in on the right-hand side.
So while being an offensive unit, he's really using it defensively to block the arrows.
In a sense, it's like an assist, I guess, from the
Interesting.
rams.
And look at that.
This is great for TaToH.
Yeah, TaToH is at pop the 200, which is the limit in this game. Every unit takes exactly one pop, except one, the Karambit
So
warrior.
he's creating them as fast as they're dying, essentially.
Yeah, and yeah, he's pushing in like a madman here, and that's at the like 9-minute mark.
Yeah, this is really good for TaToH. He has a great unit composition. He has the melee units and the rams in front, all those ranged units behind. A lot of skirmishers, which will counter those archers, which we touched on, I guess, an hour and a half ago now. So TaToH is actually creating trebuchets, and he's going to try and take out the castles. He is very close to DauT's main base, where he built all his military buildings. This is not good for DauT.
Yeah. And he's controlling gold spot of his. He raided them before. He has a beautiful army composition. He has a hill control there as well. I think
that hill control is playing a big deal into it. It looks like he's really pushing down from it.
Especially because you got the masses. It's not possible for DauT to really run anywhere because he's losing his base if he isn't taking fights there.
I can't help but feel that, you know, TaToH's little early raid with the Paladins might have contributed to the lack of army that DauT has for a moment. Just running around the golds, stopping DauT from collecting that gold. And they're the trebuchets now. This is amazing for TaToH.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like he's killing so many units before they can actually attack. You can see DauT is streaming in units after units, but they just die to like, what are there? Like 40 skirmishers, 20 cavalry archers in the back, rams in the front to buffer. It's such an incredible army composition here for TaToH.
And I don't see any idols.
Yeah.
I don't see any idols. Yeah. Every single thing he's created is doing something. No misclicks. He's making sure they're all in the right spot. This is beautiful.
That's massive. He's basically individually controlling and making sure 200 separate units are efficient all at once while dying and creating and dying and creating.
Yeah.
So
he needs to move his trebuchets a little bit further forward, I think. Not really working right now.
Now what you saw was like the catapults are doing massive amount of damage against the skirmishers, and they kill the skirmishers one shot, and we just saw 20 skirmishers die.
Just wiped them out.
Yeah.
So he's trying to turn the tide back over.
That's an upgraded Mangonel. So I mean that's the post-imperial Mangonel. Ethiopians do get that. We did not think that was going to happen, but TaToH did the right thing. He sent the paladins in and cleaned them up rather quickly. He just needs to hold his map control. He needs to deny that hill. Those 2 golds there on the left are crucial. Continue to hold the front. And
and now it's more.
There's another shot. Unbelievable.
And we saw he was at pop 200 and suddenly he's at 155 because he lost so much. Now even losing his trebuchets as well.
And it's one of those risk-reward situations. And you know, TaToH losing 50 pop just like that. That's what the siege onagers can do. TaToH needs to get more paladins in there to focus them down.
Another shot. He's trying to dodge it.
It's not looking very good.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, not very good for him. He did focus it down. Granted, he still has the best position in the game. He just needs to create more units, but that's a good thing for DauT at least.
Yeah, he went for that tech a bit late, if you ask me, and that's why TaToH was able to push with the army competition that can easily be countered, but was so efficient against what DauT built there.
It took him too long to basically counter that. He made quite a dent in it.
And that right there, see, TaToH's more prepared for it now. He sends 1 paladin over, cleans that up. He's already taken out a castle. If you didn't notice, DauT had.
I feel like both players are adjusting right now.
Yeah. And the big problem of that very strong Mangonel or siege onager now is he has a minimum range, so he can't fight off if the paladins come over. And DauT taps out after a very convincing game here by TaToH.
It was convincing. It was really cool to see. As well played.
Wow.
The creation.
You were in the zone.
Mind blowing.
Interesting.
So like he built a lot of that were pretty, since we are under so much stress. You saw like in the normal game everyone builds their farms at the perfect place, but here the problem is it's so hectic. You need to fight at 4 fronts. It got really scrappy, and I would love to go over the stats of the game as well. Like the kill to death ratio is like, and maybe even the achievements. Yeah, and let's take a look at that. That's like a beautiful thing of Age of Empires as well. And you can see how many units TaToH really killed.
Yeah. And look at the largest army.
160 largest army, and all of them fighting at one point.
Even if his units were less effective, which they really were.
Essentially had double the army.
So much more. That creation was impressive.
Oh, wow, his economy,
lead food. That's great as well.
Yeah.
90 villagers already working at a 50-minute game.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, do you recall when we talked about the timings of the fast castles and whatnot?
Right.
TaToH was at 200 pop at 7 or 8 minutes in that game. We talked about hitting the castle age in 15 minutes, I think, on the arena. So, completely different game mode that Age of Empires 2 has. It's really impressive.
Now, is that usually about the average length of a death match? Is about that long?
Well, I would say like 20, a bit longer than that. But yeah, it's like goes super crazy. And there's so many different forms of great things about Age of Empires. We have like Regicide, where you start with the king. And if you lose that one unit, you lose the whole game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the whole thing is you gotta protect that king through the entire thing. Is the king usually pretty a weak unit as well, or?
Well, it's very fast, but it can't fight.
Oh, okay.
It's just a chubby little dude that can run faster than any other. It's kind of funny because he's so fast, but he's not physically
he's a
fit
chubby
at
little
all.
dude. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What other game modes are there?
Like Sun Death, you start with 1 TC, like in normal Age of Empires. You cannot build more TCs, but whenever you lose that TC, you lose the game. So people are trying to defend, and then they try to sneak around with traps and kill your TC accepting that they lose the whole army of theirs.
Oh.
But if they kill the TC, they
It's over.
eliminate you. Yeah.
Or King of the Hill would be a good one as well.
King of the
So
Hill.
King of the Hill, there's a monument in the middle. Multiple players, obviously. You can do teams. And the idea is, I think it starts at how many years? 350?
No, like 650, but that's not important.
Anyway, so there's a countdown, and you have to hold it down to 0. So everybody's converging to the middle, trying to take you out of the middle. It's a really cool game mode, and there's so many of them.
Yeah, capture the relic. There's a relic in the middle, only one relic in the game. Everyone starts with the monastery, and whoever gets the relic into his monastery wins the game. So all 8 players are always focusing
So
and
it's just
trying
everybody
to get
going madness
Yeah.
over that one
Yeah.
relic.
It's crazy.
castles, towers. Everyone is producing units there.
Nice. I love the idea that there's different variations of it. And again, this game has been around for a while. It's, this wasn't. I know we're here at Gamescom, and I know that there are a couple people commenting like, wait a minute, this isn't something brand new. But again, it's about the 20th anniversary of Age of Empires. We wanted to kind of celebrate that. Yesterday we talked to a couple people, and today, again, TaToH, thanks for joining us as well. I mean,
Thank
that's
you
super
so
awesome to have someone of your stature here just going mad on those keyboards.
Yeah.
The deathmatch round was probably one of my most favorites. Just seeing the battle. I mean, I know it's always like getting everybody built up, but just seeing the battle and the strategy.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that as soon as you started rushing him and you had that massive army, he just started wiping it out and just started throwing the Mangala. Just started throwing those
Mangala,
rounds.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Started throwing those rounds over there and just
That was-
wiping out almost half of it. So that's really impressive. Again, we're celebrating Age of Empires. Age 4 was announced, which is super exciting. The trailer's out there now. You can go check it out. It's got millions and millions of views already. I think people
I
are
know.
very
Yeah.
excited.
I know.
I'm excited that Relic's doing it as well. I'm a big fan. I played Company Heroes, one of their older games, and that was a big one. I think a lot of people are really excited. It looks like Relic is really going to take their time because they really want to do what's right for the old players, the people who would love the game, the people who have been around. But at the same time, there's a whole new generation that doesn't know what Age of Empires is.
True.
They just have no idea. It's brand new to them, no matter what the age range is. So I think that's super cool. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I think this is awesome. Appreciate you guys coming on cast. Thank you. And a special shout out actually to, what was the name? I had it saved.
DauT.
DauT. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that was
DauT.
really cool.
I think it's cool to shout out to him. Where is he? He's actually, where does he live? What country?
Serbia.
He's over in Serbia. That's insane. We're over here in Cologne playing somebody over in Serbia.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But a special thanks to him for joining us and putting up and going through those rounds. We still have one more segment actually to show you guys. So we're going to throw it up to the Skycam here in a minute. We're going to rotate out hosts and we're going to play some Forza. So we'll be right back.